Hello, hello, hello. Let's see who's coming on today. Welcome. James, welcome, dude. How are we doing today? Serenity, welcome. I'm going to give it a few more minutes for everybody to pop on, guys, but I'm super excited about today. We got some incredible noise. I love it. Okay. If you are just joining us, More Momentum is about getting out of your comfort zone. More Momentum is about filling your own cups. You don't take everything so personal. You know, a lot of people come to us because of relationship issues. Well, if you can't handle yourself personally, then your relationships aren't the problems in your life. It's actually you that are contributing to the problems in your life. So we're dealing with that with More Momentum right now. And we are focusing on filling our own cup, overflowing, which is freedom. I think it's freedom. If you think about a cup being so full, the water overflowing, where does it go? It's free. It goes wherever it needs to go. So that's what we're doing here. And for those of you guys who are in relationships that are tough, partners coasting, those of you who have a restraining order, those of you who are separated, those of you who don't have the connection with your kids, Moral Momentum allows you to show up in a way where you're following through, number one, holding yourself accountable. Number two, becoming disciplined. That's right, James, be the water, be free, and not taking everything so personal. So you're able to actually take yourself to the next level and show a level of consistency where, if you think about it, every relationship dies because we have no consistency, no trust, therefore no peace. Everybody thinks, oh, if I don't punch them in the face, if I'm not kicking them in the balls, then it's not a problem. That's not really the issue. We have no trust because we can't be ourselves, then we're not getting anywhere. And so that's what Momentum's all about, guys. So I encourage you, if you're watching this live, to jump in, join in, and go get your life. Okay. All right. Let's get into it, guys. People are starting to join. Looks like Dave's walking while he's learning today. He's at a high speed walk, trying to make sure that he keeps his momentum. Oh, and he's flexing. Stop it. Jeez Louise. He's trying to scare people away with those muscles. All right. Let's get rock and rolling, guys. I'm super, super excited today. We've been waiting for noise. You guys been with me? Waiting for noise? Wanted to see how this is going to go. Most of it. So if you're new to this, I know there's going to be some new people here. If you're new to it, the noise is what makes you stop. It's when people say to you, this is stupid. You should quit. Why do you bother? You know, I'll give you a super easy example. I started a new workout. I started a new diet. And then your friends are like, don't be such a baby. Let's go for wings and beer. Right? And you have to follow through. Right? We talk about women who shit test, or fitness test is a big term, test in general. And I want everybody to understand that it's just about you in general. If you can't lead yourself, then no one's going to follow you. Okay? So people are going to tell you when they don't like something about themselves, they're going to tell you you should stop. Right? You don't need to do that. And let's use marriage since I do marriage. Let's just do marriage for a second here. Oh my gosh, you don't deserve that. You should leave. Okay, this is just bullshit. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. I just used a workout example, and now I'm talking about marriage. Everybody is going to give you noise. They're going to tell you you should stop, because when you start showing up, you're going to ultimately bring out parts of them that they haven't wanted to repair, fix, grow, or evolve. It's grow or die. Literally is. Okay, so I've been waiting for the noise. So far, we haven't seen a lot of noise. We're seeing a lot of support, right? How many of you guys have felt pretty lucky? You're making posts, you're saying what you're doing, and you're getting a message in the inbox going, this is great, thank you. Well, that's amazing. That's the whole point. That's why we're doing what we're doing, because the further we dive into momentum, you are going to be able to find exactly who you are and what you want to deliver and make the impact in the world that you want. Some of you want to profit from that, sure, but most of you, all of you should want to fill your own cup so well where you just love giving. Today I had one of my mentors. He's not on right now. He's on a lot, guys. You might remember him, Maddie. He described it so beautifully on the call with my men, the Lords, today. And he just said he can't describe how much energy he has from just loving on the other guys in the group, from being there for them, from leading them. It's more for his exact words, I believe, were it's more fulfillment than he's ever had making all the money he's ever made. And he makes a lot of money. Put that in perspective for a second. Those of you who are new to momentum, or those of you who are struggling with momentum, put that in perspective. The guy makes mad money, like insane money. I joke he owns half of Australia. I probably shouldn't say that online, but the guy is filling his cup, giving to other men. That's what I want you guys to understand. He's feeling so fulfilled was the word. But along the way, we're going to have a lot of noise. I'll give you a simple example of noise, and then I'm going to talk about some other examples. I'm going to use mine first. So I put out a video the other day that said, your wife's affair is your fault. Oh my gosh, the noise. Holy moly, the men, right? You got to stop for a second. Remember what I keep telling you, the first thing we're going to do is hit pain. Why? Because we want to make an impact, right? If you go back to day 8 in the script process and how you're going to write your post or your video, we need to hit pain because pain is universal. Anybody who's had a betrayal, guys, this doesn't have to be a physical affair. This could be porn. This could be you talking to, say, your mother-in-law or your mom about your issues. This could be hanging out with the kids more, the loves of your life, right? Diving into them. Partners can feel betrayed. Betrayal. There's so many other ways. I should do a reel on that. But if you think about it, everybody's going to take it personally. That's the pain, okay? And I got a lot of men. How fucking dare you? If she cheats, it's her fucking fault. Listen, I'm not saying morals aren't an issue. In fact, if you watch that video to its full, it actually says, I'm not saying we're not going to address the issues of the affair. But the first problem is the 24 things. So maybe it's the 25th problem is the affair, okay? The first problem or problems are all the things that led to this. Number 1 on that list, which I also tell people to go look at, is turning away. So if that's saying good morning to your spouse and you don't really acknowledge it, you kind of ignore it, well, then ultimately, what are you going to get? A partner feeling rejected, a partner feeling lonely, a partner who says hello to somebody else who likes that. That's one of the things that lead to an affair. And yet the victims, the noise, are going to complain. How dare her? How dare he have an affair? I want you to put this into perspective real quick. You just did one thing wrong with that. You made it more safe for them to go somewhere else to hear hello by not acknowledging the good morning. That's the point when you create your content. When you're trying to deliver the message that we're trying to pull out of each and every one of you every single day, that's what you want. Because every single one of those people that want to be victims means there's at least one more who doesn't want to be a victim, who wants to go, fuck, I didn't say good morning to my wife. What are the other 23 items on the list? That's the point. That's the impact you want to make. Are you guys with me right now? Is this making sense? Okay, cool. Now there was a little bit more noise. Ryan, I want to bring you on first before I go into it. Maybe we'll get into it. You got to. Oh,
hey, can you hear me?
Yes, Sorry, yeah, yeah. We're good. Yep.
So it's about. I posted. I don't know if you saw my post, cast. I'm sorry. I started posting just day 1 yesterday. I got way behind with vacation and working and everything, so I decided to put a post up yesterday, and it was very simple. It was a picture of the ocean, and it just said, "Starting a new journey." #Morrow Momentum. And my wife clicked on it. She must have, because I get a text message today from her that says, "You're posting on Facebook now about our sexless marriage." Huh? And then question mark. So I'm getting some day 1, some noise about it. I've had probably 60 people like give me thumbs up, or maybe a dozen people give me comments. Can't wait to see what you're going to do. You know, old high school friends I've talked to for 30 years, 25 years. So there's been a lot of good stuff, but I knew, I was fairly confident my wife was going to push back at something on this. But I didn't refer to anything about a marriage or sexless anything. It had nothing to do with that. But she clicked on it and looked you up, apparently. Yes. And so I don't know what to do with it. Just, I guess, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to. But I do need to respect her. Like, I don't want to project anything about our marriage issues on Facebook. That's not what I'm trying to do. But.
Yeah. So, like, you know, at the end of the day, this is the noise that we're talking about. That's great. You need to inspire people. And there's two ways that this happens. One, you get the 60 people that like it and say, what's next? By the way, guys, if you don't know, in my program, we would call that magnetic. He didn't really give any information. I literally commented on your post going, what are you talking about? I thought maybe about a new boat. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, what's
No, so I did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, for mystery. I totally did that on purpose. I had people call me, are you on a cruise? Nope. And it was the back of the boat, if you noticed that, because I'm getting away from that shit and I'm moving forward. So there was a lot of things in there that I did for a reason. Oh, wow. Did you guys hear that? The thought that went in behind it, right? That's beautiful, man. I love it. But that's the first part. The first part is all the wonderful, you know, what's going on, what's happening. You know, the whole way you create a mystery creates positive anxiety, right? And we love all that. But it also creates negative anxiety in people, in this case, your wife, who need to reflect, need to grow. Because that post had nothing to do with any marriage problems. Zero. Like, absolutely of the 65 people that made a comment, nobody brought that to my attention except for
only one. And what does that do? That's exactly what I'm talking about. When I was talking about the affair stuff earlier with my content, I've had people comment about the betrayal on content that has nothing to do with the betrayal, like zero. It's about being defensive, for example, right? What I want you guys to understand when you're doing this, I'm glad that you said you're going to keep going, because I want you to understand that when you get the noise has no bearing on who you are and what you're doing. And here's the proof. Your content could have meant anything. Adventure in life is really what you're saying. I'm ready for the next chapter. Onward and upward. I'm rising. I'm learning. I'm growing. However you want to look at this as a positive. But you're going to have noise, which, by the way, is great. We get afraid of what especially our spouse would think, right? You said it. You want to make sure you respect. That's great. You should. But you see, it doesn't even have to have anything to do with what the problems are. And you create or you encourage the problems to come up. Instead of being afraid of that, embrace that. Because now, in the example that you're providing with momentum and you're leading and you're moving forward, by the way, you've also done a ton of other work, which is obvious and apparent in your relationship, right? This now challenges her or anybody else who has a noise to think, why did I think about that? Like, what do I have a problem with, right? What am I not doing? All of these things. So my take is simple, dude. It's that you want to keep pushing forward. That's it, right? But this is now going to, so I was talking to one of the guys from the program as well today about, he had a similar situation. And I said, quite simply, this is good. That means that there's a lot of love there, ultimately, because we wouldn't care if we didn't say anything. When we think about nagging from our partner, guys, or bitching from our partner, the same sort of thing, right? If they didn't care, they would be checked out enough where they wouldn't say anything anymore. Coasting, right? So that's good. That's the first thing to recognize. The second thing is this: go in for the hard conversation. You know?
Yeah.
You have the skills from the reset. Go in there and have the hard conversation, right? And be like, babe, where did that come from? Use the curiosity, right? Why? And you should be as surprised as I am right now, because I know you're loving the way things are moving forward in your relationship. And I know that if you're participating in another step of what we're doing with momentum, for example, it's because you want more for yourself and you want to give more to her, to your kids, to everybody else. So you should be just as confused as me and be like, why? What's going on? Where did that come from? And just start there. I was talking to Maddie on the call earlier today about how we use STAT, and a lot of guys get hung up on STAT responses, response versus reaction, for those you don't know. It's the acronym I use. We get hung up on the validation quite often. But in addition, we're not really actually understanding where we want to go with that. We're trying to keep the peace. And you've seen that before with lords and what happens with men. There's one thing with understanding all that. The next thing You can use curiosity to build on that. But you get to a point where you are, like I said to Maddie today, where it's providing adventure. You can be curious, but take her to the next level. Show her where you're going with this. You don't really need to get into all the defense that we would normally have, right? Well, no, I'm trying to do this, and this. Show her, say, have you looked into what the program is? Use curiosity to provide adventure and show her all the different ways that you can build and why you want to give back. So before we go further, have you thought about more about, I have some ideas of what you told me in the past, but have you thought about more or how far are you into momentum where you're thinking about your impact? I know a long time ago, you wanted to be preventative, help men be preventative, not have a rock bottom, kind of just figure things out proactively. Have you thought about more since you started momentum?
I have a little bit. I mean, that's still something, I don't know what that looks like. So I don't have that as streamlined out. I think I also want to use the platform to expand my knowledge across Facebook or whatever platform I have, as far as health for my patients, for like encouragement for my community, for people to get healthier on their own. I see a lot of sick people that don't do anything for themselves. And if I can provide them that motivation, that's something I want to do. It may even turn into eventually, because I'm looking at starting maybe like an online health coaching career. Eventually, I want to do that. I want to get a degree in functional medicine and move forward with that. So that's going to take me years to do. But if I can build this platform and use that down the line, it could be something I could, phase into. But so I don't know yet. And I think my first struggle in this was not knowing that. But then I kind of decided after talking to Greg a couple nights ago, I just got to get started. I just got to do this and get started and go, because otherwise I'm never going to take that first step. So last night at like 10:45, I was like, let's do this.
Yeah. I love that. So this is such a perfect example of how this should go for you guys if you don't know yet, which is going to be most of you, right? Every day we're kind of diving into stories a bit more. And so let's use yours. You've got a background in medicine. You want to learn some more so you can teach more. And you have this whole idea, this platform for the future. And we can call that profit. We can also call it impact. We could combine the two. But along the way, you don't have to have everything figured out if you're documenting what's going on. So I'll give you an example. You might not have the degree that you want right now. And that's usually what would hold us back. But you actually know a lot more than that degree is going to teach you because of your background, because of your experience, because of the stories in the people's lives that you've impacted already with what you've done. And that's why you're passionate about this. So take that passion and that knowledge and start sharing that, right? Along the way, by removing the things that block you. So in this case, yesterday was a mindset thing at 10:30 or 50 or whatever you said. You decided to I'm just going to do it, just get started. That's the first mindset hack, right? I just got to do it. I got to stop saying it's never going to be perfect, or it has to be perfect. Sorry, say it's never going to be perfect and just do it, right? In the additions and removals of trying to move forward, right? I want you to focus on showing what that looks like, right? New adventure might be, that's the way you started your post. The next time you post might be about the vision of what you see when you think about functional medicine, right? But I challenge you to think more about the pain and why it's important so that you get people reflecting and wanting to learn more from you. You don't have to be the expert with the degree yet. You have to be somebody who's willing to open people's minds yet. The same way that yours is, just by making a post. The same way that you did with your wife, by the way, by making a post and challenged her. It's all the same thing, right?
Yep.
So
I'm interested to see how it evolves. So I don't actually have to get that degree. Like I can do it with the degree I have because it's above this one, but it's the education that I want. So that I need the education. You just look at things a different way, and I need that education. So
I think sometimes you need education and sometimes you don't. I think it depends on what you're doing and how you're teaching it, first and foremost. I think also that could be a limiting belief, like I need this to do this, right? But on the flip
Yeah.
side, you didn't say that. The flip side is you said, if I have the education, essentially I'm going to think differently, right? And so that could be very important for the journey that any one of you are on right now, right? Kathryn loves to get more degrees and courses and whatever. And I do too, but different. I like to hire mentors and talk. I like to hear from experience, you know? That doesn't mean that we pick only one. Of course, we all pick lots. But I think the most important lesson here is to continue to, well, first start like you did. Second, continue when you get challenged. But then take the tools that you learn along the way and work through it. In this case, have a hard conversation with your wife. Show her what this looks like. Why are you posting? You know, without trying to defend yourself or explain yourself. You want to evoke curiosity, get her understanding you, right? Babe, you know why I started to post, right? And talk about what your dreams are. I don't even like, for example, guys, just her background. She might want to do this with you. How glorious.
Yeah.
So Kathryn and I are doing it together.
Maybe.
You know, maybe not. But it could be pretty
I'm
awesome.
already excited that she's responded to it, to tell you the truth, because even if it was, I don't know if negative is the right word, but because I was telling Greg this the other day, it's been months since longer than that, years, where she rarely asked me, like, how's your day? What's going on in your life? How are you doing? And so, or if I try to tell her something, I feel like she's just checked out of it. So now she saw something and she's like, what's that? So, and maybe it came out of a defensive. We'll find out. I don't know. She's texted me afterwards about a bird flying around in our house. So I think she's fine. But
I think you're looking at it too much. Just look at it like, I mean, and that is great, but you're focusing on the wrong things. The point is that overall, you're moving in a direction with the skills that you've had that there is an interest, right? That's exactly what I was talking about before you came on, where I was talking about turning away. If you do something and there's acknowledgement, that's a bid. Now, usually that's towards your partner, but at the same time, things will happen where you show up in your life, let's say with momentum, and you get the reflection back. You guys hear what he just did? How powerful is this? He said, I mean, I don't know if it was negative. You could take it however you fucking want. But his mindset is, well, I know where I'm going. I know what I want to do. I'm still putting the pieces together. I'm not ashamed of what I'm doing. This is all good. It's actually not a bad thing because she, XYZ, XYZ. However you process it, it's all positive when you're done, right? I want to encourage you all also as well. If you think about whether you're in my other program like he is, or whether you're in this program, or whatever education, reading a book and applying, okay? I want to encourage you to realize that everybody's growth rate is going to be different. And when you have noise, that means that you're getting somebody to think. We are tempted to defend ourselves and explain ourselves and justify why we're doing what we're doing, but there's no need for it. Inspiration and leadership comes from just setting the example and following through. That's it. And I learned this the hard way too with my social media. As soon as you get the noise, guys, and I've had my noise from Kathryn too, right? She didn't want to tell her story. She was afraid as hell to tell her story, right? It can make people think sexist marriage. It can make people think toxic and abuse. It can make people think, oh, you're just a victim and you just allowed it. Oh, it can go so many different ways. And maybe your spouse or your partner is going to just look at a website, just look at one or two pieces of content, not really get it. But like I was saying to Greg when I was talking to him, I'm like, you just watch 5 pieces of content and you can tell that I'm telling you, take responsibility for yourself, that I just speak to men. If you actually pay attention, it can go to both. My content can go to both men and women. I get texts from women all the time saying, thank you, I've applied this and it works for me, my marriage, right? So remember that the growth rates are different. The fact that there's reflection means that there's care. When you have a stranger apply the noise, you just got to ignore it. When it's your partner, you got to go have that hard conversation. Some of you might not have the skills for that yet. You just need to start with not being defensive, understanding and being compassionate. This post, again, had nothing to do with marriage, actually. Nothing to do with relationship, actually. as far as we're concerned, this could literally be a weight loss goal. It could be, I want to get this new book I've been thinking about for you. I want to quit smoking. Nothing. Adventure is whatever you think it is. And when you hear from somebody that you care about coming at you and challenging you, that just means that there's something that they're hurting over.
Well, and I think that you hit it, Cass. There's her insecurity. Because why would I put that I want an adventure of a sexless marriage? It doesn't make any sense. So I think it's her insecurity of where's he going with it. I don't know. I don't even want to speculate. We'll just go talk to her and see what she says.
Yeah, I think it's important. We talk about this all the time. We shouldn't assume. Just remember, it's all noise. Yeah. And noise is what distracts you, and especially when it's your partner. When, hey, let's just say that's what you were actually posting, because let's be honest, that's what I post a lot of times, right? At the end of the day, if you want to make a change and you're making a post about it, maybe you're shy, maybe you're scared, maybe your partner's, that's all our own insecurities. This whole thing has been about us saying things that people won't say so that we can see positive change in the world. Nobody should want a sexless marriage. That sounds stupid, doesn't it? When you just say that out loud, just repeat that out loud for yourself for a second. Nobody should want a marriage where you are fighting with each other ongoing. Doesn't that sound stupid when you say it out loud? Nobody should want our children to be, actually, I made content on this today that's going to come out next week or something. But do you want your daughter, like if your daughter was having sex with somebody who she didn't want to have sex with, wouldn't you be mad and want to beat the shit out of that dude? Then why the fuck are you doing it with your wife if she doesn't want you? Because she should, because she's your wife? This whole thing, whether or not they hear it correctly or not, has nothing to do with you. The people that want to hear it correctly, and I'll use your wife for an example here, should want more for her marriage too. She should hear a message, understand whether it's the message that you're saying or the message that she's hearing. Remember, everything's perception, and go, how can I want more? Because if every single one of us stop being defensive, what do you think we're going to see in the world? A lot less defensiveness. Let's be honest, folks. So many of us are blaming our partner all the time. Certainly the people that are the noise that I'm talking about. Blaming what, me for my content? You for yours? If you want less fucking attacks in the world, then stop fucking attacking. Start asking questions. How many times did I say, ask her? Like, some of us got to give our heads a shake. I don't care who's listening right now. Hell, maybe your wife's listening. Fuck. Like, give your head a shake, guys. What do you want more of? Peace and love? Then fucking give it. Honestly. How many of you guys right now struggle with that? It's easy to defend ourselves, right? Because it sucks hurting in the message that you deliver, even if it has nothing to do with what the noise is, like the noise is coming at you. People are going to connect it however they want. That has nothing to do with you. But what does have something to do with you is this. They care enough to listen. They care enough, or they should care enough because the algorithm's showing it. Yeah, so go have a hard conversation, dude. Love her through it. She cares. It's good.
I definitely. I'm ready for it. I've trained for this for a year and a half, Cass. I'm good.
Yeah, man. Love her through it. Love her through it. You want more?
I'm good. I really am. I would not have handled this very well a year and a half ago. I'm good. I'm good.
I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. And I'm proud of you for taking a big step.
Thank you.
Because this has got to be scary for you, right? Nobody.
Yeah, no, it's not comfortable. I don't. My stomach doesn't love it, but yeah.
No, but you know what will love it? Your head, heart, and other big parts of your body. You know what I mean? Like, you take those steps,
yeah.
And you know what? Her perspective, that will change too when you lead her into that. Because again, guys, nobody wants the things that we're afraid to talk about. Nobody. What I'm trying to encourage you to do is help them so that nobody has to have what they don't want anymore. Cool.
Cool.
We had another one too. Greg, are you still on? Greg, you want to talk about yours?
I'm gonna have to listen to the rest of this. I got to get my son to a ball game.
Go Thank play. You. Go have some ball.
Thanks.
You, Ryan.
See you, Greg.
Sure. What part do you want me to touch on?
Well, Greg, if you guys didn't see, he made a glorious post, man, and he was quite afraid. It took him a couple days to post it, and it was really about how men need help, and men should get help, and what's changed in his life. Now, guys, if you've been following Momentum, if you've been following Greg especially, you'd see he's been talking about his health journey. He's been talking about mindset stuff. And he took the leap and went right to men and said, it's okay. Get help. He talked about me. And, essentially what happened was same thing. Noise, spouse, right? It doesn't really matter what she thought or anything like that. The point is that it was scary. Greg, get into what happened with the skills that you've learned.
Yeah. So basically, Taylor had read the post, and he didn't say anything about it right away, but I could just tell there was kind of a mood flip, and she had kind of left I was getting ready to make dinner, and she left the room. And at first, I was just like, oh, she's pissed about it. And like, oh, I'm just going to let her be, go do my thing. Then I kind of had that thought. I was like, fuck this. Like, I have the tools to have I have the skills to have a hard conversation. So I went back to the bedroom and we started to have a hard conversation about it. I got invoked in curiosity and asked her kind of what her feelings were about it. And I mean, we probably ended up talking for 45 minutes, and it was everything from just having that sour taste in her mouth from some things that happened early on when I was in the program, and just kind of oversharing some things. I validated the feelings she had about it. We kind of moved on. She talked about you a little bit. She doesn't really like your social media posts. And so she obviously was doing a little digging as well, looking into you and Kathryn and what moral momentum was. And yeah, it was just one of those conversations that, 8 months ago would have just spiraled. I would have got defensive. And it was just the classic, I disagreed with her on quite a few things. And I just respectfully disagreed and asked her if she wanted to know my opinion or have my take on things. And I let her know. And it just, by the time the conversation was over, I think how I described to you earlier was when I first went back to the bathroom to have the conversation, the wall was fully up. Mm-hmm. And it was like every stat response, every little step we took, it was just like a layer came off, a layer came off, a layer came off. Next thing you know, there's no wall. We're laughing. We're having a good time, making dinner together. And it was just ended up being a great night.
I love it. Guys, one thing he didn't tell you, which is my favorite part, is I think she was kind of annoyed that he mentioned my fucking name because she's proud of him. She recognizes who he is.
Oh, yeah. She kind of was like, I was like, when I was invoking curiosity, asking what it was about it, that she was upset about mostly. And she was kind of like, you don't give yourself enough credit. I feel like you're just giving this guy all the credit. And, you've done so much on your own. And she kind of said something that I misheard at one point. And I kind of asked her, I was like, can you help me understand why you don't think I've made any changes this last year? And she was like, whoa, no. I didn't say that. I'm saying I finally recognize all the changes you've made. And it took a year, almost to the day, for her to recognize the changes.
I want to talk about that a little bit because Greg and I had a nice conversation about this after. I think it's really, really important and valuable, whether in Kathryn's program, White Picket Fence, whether in the Reset Mind, or whether you're doing this, whether you're just reading a book and changing it for passing on a live right now. I just want you to understand. We're going to talk about this. Really important. But before I talk about that, I want to just say, guys, it's true. Wherever you learn from, the tools are the tools. That's it. I like to describe it like I told you this week already. Driving from New York to LA, stopping at every city for gas, or just getting there. Okay. But at the end of the day, you still took the tools. If I give you tools, they do nothing unless you use them. And if your partner truly does see you, okay, meaning you're consistent, you follow through, that's what momentum is all about, hard line. Filling your own cup and being consistent with that. Then they should come to a point where they're like, you're giving this guy too much credit. But you, doing your work, will also have your level or tolerance of what you want to say about that. I like to credit the people that I've learned from. So much so that in my course, I'm like, read this fucking book. Let's see if I can get this author in to talk to you. Right? That's up to you. That's your gratitude and what you think you should do with it. Okay? But that's not really the issue. The issue is the love that she has. So I'm not even calling it an issue. She's so proud of the guy. So let's talk about this for a second. This is so powerful. You know, there's a growth period that you will go through. For some of you, it's slower. I'm just plugging my thing in here, sorry. For some of you, it's slower. Rye was on and he said he's just finally made his first post. Well, we're day 19, I think, today, right? Day 19. Yeah. Okay. Some of you are in and out. Some of you are showing up all the time. Everybody's growth rate is different. That's what I was saying to Ryan earlier. Your goal should be someone brand new in 60 days. Brand new. I wasn't making that number up when I said 60 days of momentum. That's your goal. But that's like throwing the 10-yard line. Okay? If you're only shooting for that number. I want you to go for the brand new as fast as possible. And the reason we go with 60 days is because why are we doing this 90-day shit, changing habits? Why are we doing this, you know, I'm going to be a year, it's going to take so long, I got to set this goal out. Throw for the end zone. Go for the checkered flag. Don't just try to pass the car in front of you. Go for it. But then what did his wife say? It's taking me like a year to notice your changes. Your growth rate is different than theirs. You must continue to provide example, remembering who you are. Because otherwise, they're not going to see the consistency when you get frustrated, when you defend yourself. Greg said to me on the phone, I don't think he said it right now, Greg, but he said to me on the phone a year ago when he felt that she was attacking him. What's that, guys? Noise. Taking it personal. And he heard and asked for clarification with the skills that he has. Why is it that you think I'm not changing? No, that's not what I meant, babe. It's really that simple. Her growth rate's slower. He has to love her through it. When she starts to reflect, she starts to see, and she starts to grow with. Isn't that beautiful? We fucking think about quitting because we get angry. When if we just would have held on a little bit longer, in this case, a year. You know, when I talk about expectation in my program about sex, when your wife doesn't want sex because she thinks that all you do is expect it. I talk about it like it took Kathryn like 18 months of really having me with no expectation on her. And then there was like another 6 months or something after that where it came out again. And then check it again recently when she wasn't feeling well, she was sick and she wasn't, you know, in the right mind. Right? She wasn't quite as down. She was like, oh, you've been a little bit. Okay. Wow, I must feel safe now. That's a third level. Boom, pounce me. It's just, it keeps building and building and building. Right? What I want you guys to understand is the more consistent you can be, the more the safety builds. The more safety builds because the more trust they have in you. Today, we got some beautiful noise from partners. See, up until now, we've been really afraid of our partners. What are they going to say? How's it going to happen? But if you are consistent, so we talked to Samantha about your husband is a scary one because of the drinking, right? But in the consistency of the good work that you're doing, he has to reflect and go, no, I'm proud of this. This is cool. I want that. Or he won't check your boxes. And one more thing that I really want to talk about this with you guys is Greg and I were talking what I've really learned from the men in my program, the ones who've been patient. What I've truly learned from them, because I didn't reflect this on myself at all until I've seen some of my men in my program, is they were the ones that said, I can hold out a little longer. I don't need a fucking boundary. I don't need to worry about the checklist. I just want to keep being there. And the reason why I think this is so valuable is because it's very hard to look within in that defensiveness, that frustration, to be like, I can do this a little more. I just need to go a little bit longer. Greg, it probably happened with you the most. We were like, oh, I want so much more, and the frustration. And I'd be like, we should talk about motivating with a boundary now. And you're like, nah, fuck, I could do this. This happened with Ryan too. He's like, no, I haven't been doing this right. I haven't been doing this right. I haven't been doing this right. Happens with some of the guys so much. Where me loving on them, they're like, no, I need to love me more and do more. I need to give more. That blame versus attack, or sorry, blame and attack versus love and gratitude. I'm so fucking proud of guys like you, Greg. That's what I want for all of you. Excuse me. Because when you lead them, this, I can't deny, we see this over and over and over again. And this doesn't have to be just men that I'm talking to. This is you too, women. When we lead them and you give them everything they need, when they give back, you get everything you need. But the rest of the world's waiting for it to magically fucking happen. It's like a fairy's going to come in and fucking sweep everything under the rug for you. It's not going to happen. Excuse me. This cough, man. Excuse me. All right. The last thing that I want to say about this, and then I'll open this up for you guys with the reflections and what your questions are. The last thing I want to say about this is so important. And I was telling Greg earlier, I'm struggling with this massively right now. All the programs that are out there, become the best version of yourself. I'm struggling because I don't fucking believe it. That's how I started. I believed it. That's what I was learning. That's what I teach. But I'm struggling because our partners are 50% us. I'm struggling because I'm seeing many men, and Kathryn has women that go through this where they're your why, and then they're your why not. Excuse me, I might have to get a drink of water here. Excuse me. So why is this important? Because you do have to become your best version. Of course, that's real. If you want to rise up and lead someone, you must be your best. But then why are we letting the noise tear us down? Especially if the noise is our partner. Why? If you truly love them and want more for them, excuse me, is it not your responsibility to hold them accountable? Whether or not they follow through and listen to you or defend themselves or not? Do you want more for them, your children? Because you should. Whether or not they agree or disagree, that's not really on you to give up on them. You fucking signed up. So by doing a program like this, you're moving forward and you can have some of that patience that men like Greg have taught me. You know? It's so valuable. I thought I had it because I teach it. I thought I had it. But when I really reflect on days like today, having conversations with men like Greg or Ryan, who put the work in and challenged me when I talked about moving things in a better way, faster way, who challenged me to grow and think about what I was teaching. And then you get somebody like Greg's wife saying, I think you're giving him too much credit. Well, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. I want you to have the glory, man. Good. Because she was never his why and why not. He's his best version for him and for her. I want that for all of you. So desperately, I want that for all of you. All right, I'm going to open up for questions, comments. Go ahead. Give it to me. Lay it on me. Who's first? Go ahead, Jolie.
So last night I put the kids to bed, did the whole bedtime routine, and then I opened the bedroom door and said, hey, just want to let you know I'm going to go upstairs and read for 30 minutes and then I'll be back down. And I got the look of, well, you don't want to be by me? And that's exactly what he said. You don't want to be around me? And I said, of course I do. But right now I'm taking this 30 minutes for myself. Unless you want to turn the TV off, because I can't read with noise. And he's, well, farmer wants white pretty soon. And I said, okay, well, I'll see you in 30 minutes. And I went upstairs and read, which is huge for me because I wouldn't usually do that.
This is massive. This is not something we're really teaching in Momentum, but it's something that Jolene and I have talked about, where a lot of times you guys need to take this lesson in. As you fill your own cup, you can't let the noise pull you down. Normally, what would we want to do? We would want to say, oh, yeah, I know, right. I'll try to read here. She's recognized she can't read with the noise on. That's it. She wants to learn what she's learning. She's removed, subtract, noise, added, reading, learning, moving forward with momentum. And then she says what's on her mind, how it works, what's going to happen. By the way, what does she do? She knows she could read later. She really wants to connect with her husband. So she gave him the invite. It's wonderful, Jolene. It's a big step for you. Mostly, the biggest step for you, in my opinion, was that you didn't give up on you. That's the consistency that I'm talking about. You know, if she sits there and sacrifices who she is and what she's doing in hopes that he's going to change his mind, you know, be more enthralled, it's not going to work. We've already tried that, guys. How many of you tried this? It's not working. Fucking everybody. So, Jolene, well done. And by the way, you're way out of your comfort zone. I'm loving your posts and shit. Like, whoa, right on.
There's been a lot of other white noise today that has kind of taken me back. And the nice thing on the call with Kathryn is, you know, I just need to stay focused. I need to not, you know, double up or, you know, fall backwards. Just stay on the path and know this is the direction that I'm going. And there for a couple hours, it was really, really tough.
Well, a couple hours is putting it lightly. Some of you guys, this could take longer. We didn't gain 100 pounds overnight. We're not losing 100 pounds overnight. Like, let's get real. Excuse me. And we always want that magic fucking pill. But this is a magic pill you need for two people. That's the responsibility of a leader. So there is no magic pill. Let's just get real right now. It's the consistency that's the magic. But here's the thing. You get to feel that level of pride. You get to turn to me like Greg and say, no, you know what? I could have done something different. Okay, cool. That's called reflection. That's growth. That's called leading. You know? So I'm proud of you because the biggest problem you will all have is that choice that you're faced with when you hear the noise. If you think about the amount of people that show up on the call compared to the beginning, right? The noise could just be the time commitment, right? We mostly block ourselves, and then we allow the rest of the noise to make that block happen, build the wall between ourselves and our goals. Go ahead, Serenity.
Just talking about the building blocks. Since I've started the momentum, I've been reserving more of the energy for myself and doing what I need to do to move forward. And my husband has noticed, and he'll still like try to get my attention. I'll give him a little bit of it. I'm like, okay, now I have to go back to because I'm working on a project, and I'll go back to it. And I actually called his sister today. I've been getting more bold in speaking to people, not just posting, but it's translating to me speaking to people. A neighbor of mine came over yesterday very aggressively to talk to me about a problem he had that wasn't a problem for me. And I actually was able to speak, where normally I would lose blood flow to that part of my brain. So I literally would not be able to say a word. And I told him I would take care of whatever his issue was in a moment when I had time. And when I went to go take care of it, he actually was coming back over to stand over me and micromanage. And I'm like, I've got this. I don't need your help. Stay over there. And it took me 2 years in my jiu-jitsu classes to be able to say, stop, stay back. Mm-hmm. And I scared myself so bad, I dissociated. So for me to be in an adrenaline state and be able to be firm with my neighbor was very empowering. And I think it's translating from doing this momentum and putting the posts out there and putting my trauma out there, as much as it hurts to post it, it's affecting other areas now. And I talked to my sister-in-law today, and it was very similar. She's like, well, you needed this and you needed that. I'm like, look, I'm doing what I can over here. My husband doesn't have the motivation. I can't force him to be motivated. I'm just doing the best that I can. And, well, you know, toxic families, in-laws.
I'm in love with this. I'm in love with this. I'm just in love with this. Careful on that defense that you would have had there if you said that out loud right at the very end, right? Can't force my husband to be motivated. Careful on that, because even people that are trying to support you, we don't want to give them that defensiveness. Use the curiosity first, right? Would you like to hear more about it? And you can kind of get into that. But at the end of the day, though, I'm in love with this. I'm absolutely in love with this. It's kind of like tricking you. When you guys start posting it on your comfort zone, all of a sudden what happens? You start to do this in real life. See, social media, it's like a video game. You're playing and practicing for real life, right? You see, that's why people hide behind social media and comment negative bullshit, give you the noise. Because they'd rather do it there than deal with their own issues. You're forcing people to deal with their issues when you make these posts. Look at Ryan's adventure in life with a picture of a boat, and she translates that into whatever she thinks about her marriage. Huh? Well, now you're doing the same thing. You're translating who you are, posting, playing in the game, and becoming somebody new. That's the whole point, guys. That's the whole point. What did Ryan say? I just decided to make my first post. Just get started. That's the whole point. Right? You've also just flourished in this because you're doing things that are so beyond your comfort zone. But some of it's personally, some of it's professionally, and some of it's just what you need to do for your own mental health and growth as a human, as a person, just to live. This is exactly what we're looking for. So you should be so proud. Like,
Can I say I had one post over 100 views too?
There you go.
Instagram,
That's exciting.
flashed it up.
That's exciting. But remember, you're going to look at that because it is, and it's, by the way, it's addictive in the beginning. Like, I could care less now. Now it's just sometimes I look for analytics or whatever, and I'm still small. So it goes away relatively early, right? But in the beginning, it's super exciting. We all go through it. You're checking your insights. You're looking at how many views you got, this and that, whatever, right? But just remember what the purpose is. Just remember that it's the one that you can impact. I'll never forget that when Cole told me that. Like, it's just so important because that's pushing you back to your why. And now, everybody, you can't necessarily do this until you felt this, okay? But you can try. Serenity, you have a new portion to your why. Do you know what it is? It's literally stepping outside of your comfort zone. You saw what happened and how posting on social media has transformed you in 19 days, personally and in real life. I want you to just think about who you are specifically as a person and the fear that you have. Think about leaving your home. Think about having conversations. Thinking about having an opinion. Think about even posting. And I want you to think about how you were able to accomplish a whole new level of conversation with somebody who should have probably intimidated you, right? And think about what that strength is. Fuck, girl, in 2 weeks, you're probably going to take over another country somewhere. What country are you going to buy? You going to go take it over or what? Like, you should feel that strong right now. That's amazing. So your why should amplify everything that you thought you knew about stepping outside of your comfort zone. It should amplify everything you thought you knew about being afraid of everyone around you, being a prisoner. It should amplify freedom. Okay?
It is nice to have a voice.
Everybody deserves a voice. And everybody has one. We're just more afraid to use it. That's the problem. Okay? I'm very proud of you. Like this is probably one of the most exciting benefits that you get early on, and everybody, that's what it feels like. I'm going to bring you up again, Samantha, because yours is really scary, right? But if you think about this level of freedom that Serenity is experiencing right now, we all will feel like no matter what, our circumstance is scary. But if you know what your core values are, if you know who you are and what you believe in and why you're saying what you're saying, everybody that you're trying to impact and help because of what they're going through, but the one person you care about the most, also then your children, what they're going to learn from it. Take that freedom that she's experienced right now. I'm pointing at her like you can see her from where I'm pointing, but take that freedom that she's experiencing and that voice she's describing having and realize how important your voice is, no matter how scary this is. Okay? I mean, you're on these calls every single day, so I know you want it, girl. I know you do. And you deserve it. Okay? Thank you, Serenity. All right, anybody else? That's it. We're good. Well, all right. Okay, wait. Whoa. Kat's up. Go, Kat.
Okay. I don't have much time before the end of my lunch, but I have been taking initiative. So my last couple of posts were definitely more intense.
Yeah.
Like when you were on the call and you said, "Why are you mad?" and I'm, dig deeper. And I was just like, I don't have anything deeper. And then when I started digging deeper, I was like, okay, I feel betrayed. I feel this. Okay. And then, thinking about it, and another friend said to me that, I have no right to the opinion and of others, about me. That is not, I don't own that, and I can't control that. And so my husband and his buddy that's staying with us for now and has been for several months now, they were sitting on the couch watching TV and just hanging out like it's, a high school hangout again last night. And the kids were out there, and I called them out on, I said, you know what, I was mad. And, but now I communicated, I tried to come up with the solution. You guys are now not communicating. You guys don't like my cooking. You don't like my food. I said, for him, that's no big thing. He does not know me. He doesn't know this. He doesn't know that. It's just rude. And, but for you, I told my husband, I said, this is 20 plus years. And for you to now tell me that you don't like cooking or throw it out there, I said, that's throwing me under the bus and that's not having my back. I said, but if you choose to tear me down, then that's your choice. I am not that type of person, and I cannot be brought down. I'm not going to be brought down like that. And I said, so if you guys really want the food this way, then I need recipes. You tell me what meat, and I will pull up simple recipes, and this is how I'm going to handle it. Because a couple of days ago, he also accused me of having a victim mentality because I didn't watch all of a TV show that he had on, and then when the end or movie, and when the end happened, I didn't understand it. So I just said, I didn't really get that. And as I was walking away, and I was like, and it doesn't really matter because I don't usually stay and watch the TV. Then as I was walking away, I said I was having a victim mentality.
Hey, Kat, I'm going to stop you. I think you're going way more into white picket fence territory than we're going into momentum right now. Like, I like that I think that you're probably feeling this because of the voice thing that we were just talking about. But I would encourage you to see
I did say something.
Yeah, but I'm going to encourage you to think differently. If we're thinking from a momentum, momentum mentality is different than white picket fence. Okay. And so momentum, I'm going to encourage you to think about it way differently, way more fun and adventure. Yeah, babe, give me the recipes. What is it? What would be the way to do this? Let's do it together. Here's an apron. Oh, I want to see an apron without any pants on. Like, have some fun. That's momentum energy. That's how I would teach adventure with stat response. But I think that what you need to realize right now is having a voice doesn't mean standing up for yourself always. Having a voice is leadership. Sometimes that will be standing up for yourself. So I just want to draw the clear line there.
Okay. Well, you're right on that. But I also did moved like my my workshop downstairs because the TV was a noise. It was a distraction.
Love it.
And I took my workspace downstairs. I actually invited my my youngest to come downstairs to work on her project. And then when she went upstairs and played her dad, you know, manipulated like kids do. Later I came up and I called her out on it in front of her dad. And I said, I told you that this was the way it was. You went up to your dad and you did differently. And he got upset because he thought I was upset with him. And I said, no, I am not upset with you. I want you to understand that this 6-year-old is manipulating us and that we need to get on board with what did your mom say? What did your dad say? And do like we did with our oldest child, so that we are a partner and we are a team in handling this one. And he agreed. And so now we got a little bit more of an understanding, and he also knows that I'm going downstairs to work. And he also thanked me for clearing the space off the table so that he could have it for food. And so there's more communication and, but yeah, part of it is the white picket fence. Part of it is.
Yeah, I was just going to say again here, I think you're
you.
going into what I want you to fill Kathryn and fill your coaches in. Like, this is like a much bigger picture than momentum. Okay. Does that make sense?
I kind of blend it. Yeah.
Yeah. You think about momentum more about showing up for you than leading him. Then in the consistency with you, we can create the space to be the leader. Right now, you want to be the leader because you're in white picket fence and he's not in my program. I get that. But think about momentum more as a tool to facilitate what you're learning in white picket fence. And or if you're not in one of our programs, guys, think about momentum as a way to at least get yourself freaking started developing skills. But you're in the program, Kat, okay? So take this to your white picket fence team and rock and roll with the fencers. Does that make sense?
Okay. Well, I did start I took the girls for a walk with me last night, and and I invited him, and he didn't know it last night. He said he was too tired, but he did.
Okay, again,
he did
Kat,
like the idea of it.
Kat, I'm going to stop you
That's
again.
that's WPF.
Yeah,
Okay.
because think about it. So going for the walk, good. Momentum, adding, right?
Okay.
Okay. But what you're trying to do with it is push it to white picket fence. See what I'm saying? So right now, focus on filling your cup instead of looking to him for the outcome. See, that's the exact opposite of momentum. Right? Right now, you're trying to use momentum to get him to do the things that you're learning from white picket fence. That happens, but with using momentum a little more relaxed, less outcome based, except for you are the outcome. Follow me?
Okay. I will work on it.
I can help you a little bit more too on the Tuesday call if you want to talk about more and break this down. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Fair. And then otherwise talk to the fencers.
Thank you.
You got it, girl. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you go. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll be doing Saturday and Sunday. Okay. Cool. All right. Bye, guys. See you later.